2022, more than 49,000 people died by suicide in the United States. This has hit both big cities and smaller towns. And for one Kansas county with a population of less than 4,700, mental health conditions have caused a tragic time for the community. Local 4's Casey Mintz shows us how they're attacking mental health.
Tomorrow needs you. That's the message here in one north central Kansas county as they share mental health resources with their residents. It's been a tragic time in Republic County, Kansas. Director of the county's Addiction, Suicide Prevention and Education Coalition, Jessica Tebow, says she was faced with a very hard time when she started that job last year.
I was hired in July, and not long after that we had our first loss. Not long after we lost our first kiddo, we lost another in just a neighboring town, and then we lost 3 adults, and we lost another kid. So we had 6 losses in 6 months.
Tebow knew something needed to be done after facing those deaths as a result of suicide, but she knew there was a wall that needed to come down first.
I knew that to begin the conversation, to raise awareness, we would need to crack through a very thick shell in our community that has kept things under wraps, not because we don't care about each other, but because mental health is so stigmatized.
That's when Tebow reached out to a national organization called Active Minds. She wanted to bring a visual representation of the suicides that impact people nationwide. Each of the backpacks on display share a story of a life that was lost from suicide. Tebow took this display to both Belleville and Pike Valley High School in Scandia. And for Active Minds, this is one way to start the conversation on mental health.
Whether it's a community that's still facing a lot of stigma or not, people start realizing this is a conversation we need to have. If you read a lot of the stories, there's a common theme of a lot of them felt like they couldn't talk to anyone, either a lack of resources or a stigma, shame, whatever it may be. And we're kind of here to remind you, look, you can talk to people. There's resources available to you, both locally and nationally, and we're here to help.
And when Tebow went to the Republic County community for help, she got everyone on board.
The entire community has really pulled together on this. We've had an enormous amount of donations. Our commissioners got involved. Literally every facet of our community, religious, business, mental health, healthcare, has gotten involved.
One of those people who came on to help was Michael Oldie. He's a mental health provider in Kansas, and he says his inspiration to join was a tragic loss inside his own community.
There was a tragic loss of a teenage girl who just lived right down the street from me and my family last summer. And thinking about that and how someone who was that close by and very active in the community, everybody knew her and saw her around, and then for her to just be gone was tremendous tragedy.
And those like Monica Douglas, who had their own battles with mental health, joined the coalition to help those who needed it.
I've always been pretty open about my own mental health, and it's hard for a lot of people to do that. Understandably, it's not easy for everyone, but just knowing that I've had my own struggles and have made it through them, I just want others to know that there's hope and there are resources available.
And Douglas says she hopes the work of the ASPEC shows both young and old that seeking help for mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
It makes me sad that our community has had some very horrible losses due to suicide. And I hope that connecting kids with resources will help others who may be feeling that way and just help them to know that others are going through it.
Now, these stories on the backpacks that surround me are incredibly impactful, but I want you to take one thing from this story. Take it from a guy who struggles with depression, from a guy who struggles with anxiety. That help is out there, and reaching out for help is one of the bravest things you can do. And a note to everyone out there, if someone does reach out to you for help, be kind. Give them the time and listen to them as they talk about how they're feeling. And coming from the Local 4 News Guy to everyone out there who's watching this, tomorrow needs you. Reporting in Republic County, Kansas, I'm Casey Mintz for Local 4 News.
Thank you, Casey. If you or someone you know is in a mental health crisis, help is available. You can access that by calling the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988.